Jim, the game guru. Today I'm going to go over some Dragon Farkle. This is my first time with a Farkle game, and I went with one of the games that seemed to be a little more popular on Amazon, as well as some other videos I've seen out there, and it's Dragon Farkle, where it's the Farkle game with a little bit of a twist. Bring that up there. A little bit of a twist on the ending, and you get to battle a dragon. So you have a final battle of beating this little dragon. You get this little dragon kind of cardboard pop up with these little dragon scales and some player mats and some dice, and I got it all set up here ready to go. I'm going to go over a 2-player version. Fairly simplistic game, all based on dice chucking and winning these kind of tokens here. So you get these little tokens here with that you can get. These are like your soldiers. These represent your soldiers, your recruits. And then you also do have some heroes too that I'll show you. Guys, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. I am running trying to get to an 80+ subscriber goal by the middle of November. I would love to be able to hit that. If you guys know anybody that likes video games or board games, I cover both of those as my hobby on this channel. Please subscribe. Please refer anyone else to subscribe. In that giveaway, I'm going to be giving away a Nintendo Switch title or a board game in a collective kind of pool. We have about 4. We have one of them is Monster Hunter Generations. The other one's Hat in Time for the 2 Switch games, and then the games are going to be, the board games are going to be Star Realms Frontiers and Parks. So winner gets their choice of one of the 4. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to do the top view and show you guys some gameplay of Dragon Farkle. I played a few rounds of this over the weekend. It's not bad. There's some good things and there's a couple bad things, and I'll bring that up as we start playing. Okay, let's get into some Dragon Farkle 2 players. I have my 2 mats right here, and with each one with a hero. So what you can see here on the table is I have player mats, here the companions, and then tokens for soldiers. So this has got a pile of 50 to 100. These are the die for this player here. This is another soldier pile of 500 to 1,000. I like keeping these separate and then just kind of exchanging the tokens as you get the as you start earning some of these soldiers as you're recruiting them. Up here we have the companion deck, and this is in case you have, sometimes you have magical items that will end up swapping your heroes, or you can end up getting a different hero later on in the line. Each player is also dealt a magic item. So this is the deck of magic items. So on the player mat, what we have here is, it's kind of like, the best way I can explain it is kind of like Yahtzee. And I don't know how well the camera is going to pick this up. But you get, when you go through like a recruitment phase, you can get earn soldiers based on the die. So if you roll a 5, you get 50. If you roll 1, you get 100. If you roll triple 6s, you get 600. Triple 5s, 500. Triple 4s, 400s. If you do triple 1s, though, you get 1,000. And then 4 of a kind is 1,500. 3 pair are 2,000. 6 of a kind is 2,500, and then if you get a straight, you get 3,000 soldiers. So what you do is every time you roll, and this is going to be this player's die, you're going to have an event die, right? So you have an event die that you roll with your regular die. If you don't end up getting a score on the roll, then what happens is it's called a Farkle, and in that case, you lose all your potential items that you could have recruited, except for when it comes to fighting the dragon, which I'll get to as far as the final battle rules are considered. Okay, so the dragon's up here. This little cool-looking little statuette, in a way, cardboard statuette. You have your scales here, and then on the opposite side of the scale is the blood. So these are markers that indicate whether or not you've hit the dragon at the very end of the game when you go into your final battle. So magic item, magic item. I'm gonna flip these magic items up. You know, you don't show them during the actual game, but I'm just doing that because of simulation purposes here. So this guy has got this person right here has got the Gauntlet of Seeking. What this does is allows you to go through the magic item deck and pick one and use it right away, which is very, very cool. This is the Sword of Dragon Slaying. This is perfect for using at the final battle of the dragon, because this says during a final battle, do 1 damage to the dragon. So you can use this to get off an easier victory. So I'm going to leave this like this. The dragon, this has 5 scales, like I said earlier, each one representing the amount of damage that we get per dragon. Now, when you play this game, when you first play this game, you'll actually be using 3 scales. And it says in the manual, if you want to make the game harder, then put additional scales into play, so it's harder to beat the dragon at the end. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and do this player 1 here. With the event die, real quick before I roll, one side is the dragon and one is the axe. So they mean different things when you are recruiting, and I'm going to show you as we go through recruiting. And then really quick too, before I roll my first die here, I'm just going to show you kind of the abilities of this champion here, or this companion here. This says if you roll 1, you kill 100 of your soldiers are killed accidentally. 2 to 5, 100 soldiers are killed from each opposing army. And if you roll a 6, 400 soldiers are killed from the opponent's army of your choice. This person here, if you roll 1 to 3, nothing happens. And if you roll a 4 to 6, then 300 soldiers run away to the stockpile of your opponent's army of your choice. So I don't know, the text is kind of small for the camera there. I may not have picked it up. I'm not sure if it did. I can't tell in the preview here, but let's go ahead and roll this first person's, so right here I got nothing for the event die. So I did get 1, 2, 3, ooh, that 4 of a kind. So that right there is 1,500 soldiers. So what you do is you put the soldier tokens down, and obviously if this was spread out more, I would have this, I wouldn't have this so close, right? So at 1,500 soldiers, I also rolled a 1 and a 5, which is also another 100 for the 1 and 50 for the 5. So right here, what I could do is if I wanted to, I could stop and bank all of these, because in order to fight the dragon at the very end of the game, you need to have 5,000 soldiers, unless you have a companion or a magic item that says you can enter the dragon's lair fewer than 5,000. So here, since I played all of my scoring die, right, I didn't Farkle anything, everything scored on the first initial roll, right, I can roll my dice again to add more soldiers. I might actually do that. I'm gonna go ahead and risk it. So here we go. I got 3 5s. Look at that. I got another 500 soldiers from that roll. That's crazy. So we'll add another 500. I can roll 3 dice, but oh, you know what? I forgot to roll the event die. And that's battle. This is an axe. So this gives me either, whenever you land on an axe like this, double axe, you can either draw a magic item or double the amount of soldiers you get from that roll. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to double. I'm not going to go for the magic item because I like the magic item I have here. So I'm going to stop right here because I don't want to risk rolling 3 more die. These 3 more die and then rolling nothing, and I Farkle. And then if I Farkle, I lose everything that I've accumulated. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, bank these. So right now I've got 2,500 soldiers. I got plus 2650. 2,650 soldiers right now in my pool, which is great. And so now we're going to go over this person's turn now, and they're going to go ahead and roll. Now, every time somebody's turns come up, there's 3 things they can do. One is recruit. The second thing is to have one player brawl another. So if you want to brawl somebody else, you can declare a brawl. The third thing is to fight the dragon once you have 5,000 recruited soldiers, but obviously neither of them have 5,000. This person right here has fantastic rolls for their first turn to get beyond 2,600. Now, if I wanted, I could have this person go ahead and brawl this person, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna go through the recruitment. I'll show an example kind of brawl too in a second. So this person rolled 2 1s, so that's a scoring die. So that's 100 each. So 100 potential. You always put the tokens on the top of the player mat, because not directly on to the actual board, because you haven't really actually finalized your recruitment to actually win those. Because you could possibly lose them. So the 4 means nothing in this. There are 2 5s, but I'm not going to take the 2 5s. The reason is because they're only worth 50 each. So I'd rather put them back in here into the pool in order to have a chance of winning more recruits and have better odds, right? So this axe is double points. So I get double or select a magic item. Now, if I were to select a magic item and bring a magic item back over to my side, and then I'd finish off my turn and win that magic item, the magic item I have already would end up going to the discard of the magic items deck. That is because you can only have 1 magic item per player on the table at once. And I don't want to give up this Sword of Dragon's Land, because this Sword of Dragon's Land is a free ding on the dragon. So it just wouldn't make any sense. So this is already 400 because of the doubling. I'm going to go ahead and roll this. Hopefully I won't Farkle. Ooh, we got another 1. And blank on the event die. So blank means nothing. If you get a dragon on your recruitment roll, what that means is you got to take all of your scoring die, move them aside. So I'm going to put another 100 here. But if you had a dragon here, anything you score on that roll is gone. And you have to move your scoring die over, and then you're only left with the other die. So with the other dice in play, I'm gonna go ahead and just stop right there, because I'm afraid that I'm gonna Farkle if I roll these 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and bank these. Well, these are 500, so I'm gonna throw that in for a 500 chip. Put a 500 chip there. This companion, he has an ability. I'm gonna roll 1 dice. I can do it once during your turn. You may roll a die, and if I get a 4 to 6, then this player over here would have to lose 300 soldiers, and there you go, a 6. So this player loses 300 soldiers. Go ahead and put that up here, and now this person's done. The event die goes back over here, and then now this player rolls. I'm just gonna go through one more set of rolling for each, just so you guys can see how it's done. So we got a 1, 2 3s, 2 6s. So look, I was really close to having 3 pairs. The 1 and 2 here screwed it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the 1. That's gonna give me 100. I got nothing on the event die, which means that nothing bad happened or nothing good happened there as far as doubling. I'm going to go ahead and roll again. Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't supposed to roll the 1 over here. I don't know. I grabbed all my dice. So here, I only got a 5, so that's an additional 50. And let's go ahead and roll one more time with the event die. Nothing on the event die. I got another 1 for another 100. And, maybe I'll just go ahead and stop there. So that's another 200. I got my 200 back from what this guy did to me earlier. Well, actually, I lost 300 from what that guy did to me earlier. But I got 200 of it back. So remember, you always got to roll the event die every single time. I don't know if I forgot rolling it once or twice or not during this demonstration. And then put the 50 here. And then I'll trade out the 50. Let me put these back here. I'll trade out the 50 to 2 50s for 100. I'm going to roll this guy's ability. And, I got a 5. So 100 soldiers are killed from each opposing army. So this guy over here loses 100 soldiers. And then He gets 400 in exchange here. And that's basically most of the gameplay with this. The brawling, there is a brawling. Well, let me do this guy's last roll here. So I got 3 ones. Woo! There you go. That's 1,000. 1,000 potential. And I got 2 5s. So that's 250. So that's another 100. And I will no longer roll because this one, he rolled a blank, which is good. Because if I would have rolled a dragon, that would have sucked because I would have lost 1,100 soldiers. But I'm afraid of rolling a Farkle, which a Farkle is no scoring die at all. In which case, then I would lose the recruits that I earned. So I'm gonna go ahead and bank these. So I bank these in there. So we get this 500 back. There you go. So it's got 1,500. This guy's still got 2,600. I can roll the 1 die for his ability to see if I can knock 300 off of this guy again. Or let me see. Will he? If I can roll it. Nope. So he rolled a 3. Then nothing happens. You have to roll a 4 or 6. So in this game, there are multiple. I think it's about 10 companions. So there's about 10 companions in this game that have different abilities. And they're all pretty different. Some of them allow you to skip the reroll a die once. Some of them allow you to skip the dragon on the event 1 time during your turn. Some of them do different behaviors when you're rolling a specific value. So you keep rolling, you keep doing recruiting, and then if you were ever to do a brawl, let's say if you did a brawl, you could actually roll the person that's attacking the other person would get 6 die, and then the person that's defending can only roll 5. And what you do on the brawl, just like the recruiting, is you roll your 6 die. The attacking person rolls a 6 die plus the event die. He keeps going until they decide to stop. And when they decide to stop, they see how many soldiers they were able to obtain. And then the defending player will roll 5 plus the event die, and then they would see how many soldiers they were able to get. The winner is the one who wins the most soldiers, and obviously if you Farkle while you're trying to get soldiers for the brawl, you lose everything, and your battle score is 0. The person that has the most wins the brawl, and then the difference between the two is what they earn in soldiers from the other person's army, plus an additional 500 from the center pot. So they'll get 500 plus the difference. So that is one way in this game that you can actually steal from your opponents by brawling. And then the last thing is battling the dragon. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna just really quick let's just pretend this person has 5,000. Okay. We rolled, we played. This person's up to 5,000 now. They're gonna go ahead and battle a dragon. Now, battling the dragon is a little different than the recruitment and the brawling phase. What you do when you're battling the dragon, it's actually reversed when you're battling the dragon. And when you're battling the dragon, you want the dragon die, because remember, this dragon icon on the event makes you lose your scoring die when you're rolling for recruitment, and then this doubles your scoring. But when you're fighting the dragon, it's different. This dragon symbol on the event die will hit the dragon for 1, and then this axe will hit the dragon for 2. And when you roll a Farkle while hitting one of these symbols, the dragon or the battle axe, it's actually the best thing you can do, because every time you roll scoring die, you will lose soldiers from your pile. So let's go ahead. I'll show you really quick. So I'm gonna final battle. See, there we go. So we got a dragon right there. So I hit the dragon for 1. I flip this over to the blood token, and then let's see how many soldiers I lose out of this. I lose, these 4s mean nothing. The 2 means nothing. The 6 means nothing. I lose 100 soldiers, right? Because any scoring die you roll with any of the icons on here is how many soldiers you lose. Let me actually, sorry, let me put these 2 back because I got 2 5s. Yeah, so I have the 2 5s there. Now I only have 4 die in the event die to roll, right? So let me go ahead and roll that. Again, nothing on the event die. Ooh. And then nothing on that roll. And that is a Farkle, which means if I Farkled on that, I end up flipping the scales back. The battle is over. I did not defeat the dragon. All I was able to do there was lose 100 recruits. And so basically what you got to do is you got to keep rolling and rolling and rolling when you're fighting the dragon. And you need to roll as many times as you can. So you need to be able to score all 6 die as many times as you can to keep hitting the dragon whenever this event die hits one of the dragon or the double axe. So Farkle rolls with either one of these landing is actually very good, because it's not a Farkle on the final battle, because the rules for the final battle state blank space and no scoring die, and the battle is over and you don't beat the dragon. But anytime one of these hit, the battle continues. So a Farkle roll is actually pretty nice for that. And once you hit all 5, the dragon is dead. You win the game. Like I said earlier, it does say to use 3 scales when you first play. I personally feel like playing the dragon in this game is way, way too easy. And that is so that's one of my gripes. So I have 2 gripes in this game. One, the dragon is super easy to kill. I feel like the double axe is like you go whack whack, and it's just too easy to get too many hits on it. When I was playing with my friend the other day, it just felt like I didn't lose enough recruits, not enough soldiers, and we were just killing the dragon too easily. The other thing I don't like is that I feel like this game is one of those games where it's really, really fun with a lot of people. So I believe this is up to 5 people, if I'm not mistaken. So playing this with 5 people, actually anywhere from 3 to 5, I think would be much more enjoyable than a 1v1 game. Because I played my friend in a 1v1 game. We played like 10 consecutive games. It wasn't as fun as I thought it would be, only because there's less brawling. So if you do a 1v1, you're going to brawl less, and you're going to do more recruiting and try to get to the final battle quicker. But I think when you play with more like 3 or 4 or 5 people, you're going to end up brawling nonstop. So if one person has like 5,000 and everyone else has like a 1,500 soldiers, every opponent is probably going to end up brawling that one person to knock their recruits down, so that one person cannot enter the dragon's domain to fight them to win the game. Because like I said, the dragon is too easy to beat. So I feel like this is one of those games that you have to play with multiple people, not just 1v1. So try to get at least, I would say 4 to 5 would probably be the best for this. I think 3 would definitely be better than 2, but I think the optimal, it would be around 4 to 5. The dragon too is the other issue. Like I said, it's already way too easy to beat. So one thing you could do is maybe have a house roll that if you land on the double axe, that it only does 1 damage, or get more scales somehow. Maybe find a way to get 2 or 3 more scales. Maybe have 8 scales that you have to hit the dragon in order to kill it. I think I thought 5 was going to be tough because the first 3 was a little too easy, and then we got to 5 and it was still easy, and I'm like, okay. So I think maybe having it around 8 to 10 would probably make the dragon way harder to beat. But other than that, this is my first dive into a Farkle game. I enjoyed it. I had lots of fun with it. It wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be, only because it was just the 2 of us. But I am sure that once I get other people involved and we play like a 5-player round on this, it's probably going to be even way better, because there's going to be a whole bunch of brawling going on. But that's it. This is Dragon Farkle, and I love the box. Pretty awesome. And it's a dice chucking game where you recruit soldiers and you nuke the dragon at the very end. There are other Farkle games too. I've never played the vanilla Farkle games out there, and I'm not sure if they're as fun as this or if they're just a little drier or something. But that's it, guys. I will see you later on the next video.